Hello, fellow teachers, and welcome back to the Teacher Trainers channel, your one-stop shop for all your teaching tips, insights, and activities. Today, guys, we have some very useful tips for you all to engage your students, challenge your students, and simply do it right. Let's get stuck in. So, who are these teaching tips for? Perhaps you are experienced in teaching and you need a little bit of refining. Or maybe you're new to teaching and you need these basic tips, some of which have taken me 10 years to figure out, analyze, and then master. Let's check them out. Starting with ICQs and CCQs. These are instruction checking questions and concept checking questions. We'll go with the first one, ICQs, instruction checking questions. Ever find yourself asking students, do you understand? Is that clear? Know what to do now? Not the best way to check. Instead, here's an example. Let's say we do this activity, slap the board, a classic. These are the instructions we may give. Guys, make yourselves in 2 lines, 2 teams, one over here and one over here. You're going to, as the teacher, shouts out the word rabbit, and you have to slap the board, okay? Everybody clear? Not the best way to ask our students if they understand. Here are some examples of ICQs. You might ask them, is there 1 team or 2 teams? 2 teams. Do you have to slap the board or just speak out the word? These are examples of ICQs, making sure your students understand the instructions given. Next up is CCQs, or concept checking questions. These are used to ensure your students have understand the lesson or what has just been taught. For example, imagine we've been teaching adjectives, very basic adjectives, and we put up a picture of an elephant. We ask the students, is it big or is it small? If they answer, it's big. Perfect. You have given them a concept checking question, and that means they've understood your lesson. Talking to the board. Ever find yourself chatting to the board, basically talking into it, not at the students or to the students? This is a big problem. They're not going to be able to hear you or capture exactly what you're saying. Also, watching your mouth. So instead of this, the elephant is kind of muffled, can't hear you. Students are just watching the back of your head. Instead of this, try this. The elephant is than the try this. Now the students can see you, they can hear you clearly, you're not talking into the board, and you can follow their facial expressions. Very important to make sure that you can kind of see their understanding. Try it this way. Warm-ups. We all know how imperative they are to your lessons. But I have 2 main points to share with you. Number 1, don't skip them. If you skip your warm-ups in your class, you'll find kind of like it's starting a very cold engine on a motorbike or a car. It's going to be really hard to get them going into your lesson. So don't skip your warm-ups. Number 2, don't do them over and over again. Make sure you do something a little different. Adjust the activity you have even. And one final extra tip for you guys. If they have their favorites, and they will have their favorite activities, use them as a bit of an incentive, like a reward for them after they've completed an exercise or done really well in their current studies. Use it as a bit of a prize. Try that. Next one up, over-explaining. If you are over-explaining something, anything, a vocabulary, a word, a grammar point, it doesn't matter. There is going to be a faster, more effective way of doing it. Visuals, images, audio. So, over-explaining means that your teacher speaking time is way too high. Limit this. Short, simple instructions. This will, of course, allow your students more student speaking time, giving them more time to practice in class. And remember, that is the only time for some of the students that they get to actually practice. So, adjust your teacher speaking time instructions, giving your students more student speaking time. Finally, the flow. All educators must take their students through the journey or the lesson. Have you ever found that lesson that's kind of not too easy, but also not really difficult for them? The students have achieved the lesson goal. This is what we call the flow. The flow is often achieved by giving your students relevant teaching materials, thinking about their age and level proficiency of the language. Also, the teacher's teaching style and approach to the students. Again, considering age, level, proficiency in English. Once again, guys, thank you for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope it helps you. If it has, give us one of those, share it with your teacher buddies or anybody else that you might find this will help. That's what we're here to do. And finally, guys, if any of these tips are really, really interesting to you, leave us a comment. We can go really deeply into one of these tips or any of our videos. Thanks again, guys. Happy teaching. Warren Hammond, signing out.